Welcome back to the channel. Here I have a video titled "Don't Be a Digital Nomad Until You Watch This Brutal, Honest Reality."
I think it's the greatest experience of my life. I'm incredibly grateful.
Most people's biggest stress and biggest worry in life is money. How do I say this diplomatically? They're full of shit. To have some sort of like baller lifestyle if you're a digital nomad.
I rolled into this spot called Chihiro. I just saw it on Google Maps and I thought it looked pretty cool. The thing about the coolest cafes is the coolest cafes are not laptop friendly. And that's a good thing, right? You don't want a bunch of people.
I'm not much of a cafe guy. Are you guys a cafe guy? Maybe because I'm not a coffee drinker either. You know, maybe that's it. I'm not much of a cafe guy. I do like co-working spaces. Also, I do like bakeries. I love me a good bakery. What about you guys? You guys cafes, bakeries, co-working spaces. What's your vibe?
Just posting up all day on their laptops. Usually the cooler cafes have, more of an interesting vibe, like these low tables, couches, stuff like that. That's not really like work conducive. If you want to get work done, then you want to go to like a big chain coffee shop if you want to like get some real work done, or like a co-working space. But today's the day I don't have my laptop, so I wanted to check out one of these cafes that were more of a vibe and less of a workstation. Yeah, check it out. That's what it looks like on the outside, and then the inside. It's called Chihiro Coffee Shop. Try to give each other dreams that make us happy. Huh? I'm just gonna peek inside. There's some.
See, like for me, I need more mental space. I don't know if that's a thing, but like I feel like everybody's too clumped up together in there. I need like a room to myself, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody on the complete opposite side of where I'm at, and on top of the fact, I have stuff. I have to bring things. I have a setup. I have my notebook. I have my, you know what I'm saying? So I just need more space in that. That's probably why I like co-working spaces more.
There's some people working in there, so I don't want to like be yapping in there while everyone's trying to get some work done. Seems like a younger crowd. There's people getting work done, but there's also kids just like watching League of Legends on their laptops and playing mobile games. Oh, come on. This is the first time I had a proper hot Vietnamese espresso. Yep, that tastes pretty much how I would expect it to taste. You guys know how dank Vietnamese coffee is, but Vietnamese espresso, multiply by 10. This might have been a miscalculation. Usually when I get a
All right, buddy, I'm not really here to see you talk about coffee. I'm going to try to skip ahead of here and hopefully get to the point. I'm just going to speed up the video.
Vietnamese coffee, it's not that much coffee, and it's a lot of milk and a lot of condensed milk and a lot of coconut or whatever. So I thought it'd be the same here. So I got an espresso and I got an Americano because I thought that the Vietnamese coffee would be like a quarter caffeine cap content, and then I needed like a full Americano to get me up to speed. This might mess me up. And I still have to drink the Americano. I might be here for a while. So the reason I want to talk about this is every single video I've ever put out has multiple comments basically saying, how do I be a digital nomad? What do you do for money to be a digital nomad? I want to be a digital nomad, something along those lines. And I think most people are attracted to the idea of being a digital nomad because they're attracted to what they think the lifestyle is. Because when you look at social media, what you see from digital nomads are people with their laptops on the beach, people on like a tropical resort. It looks like they're on vacation every single day of their life. And what I need you guys to realize is that
I never understood the whole beach laptop lifestyle. Yes, you could get work on the beach technically, but for me, my laptop needs a power source. You're not getting that much out without a power source. Number two, the sun's probably shining. Your laptop is gonna overheat. You know what I mean? I don't want that type of sunlight directly on my laptop for hours. And number three, like I said, I have a setup. So I mean, like on a lawn chair, I just feel like it's uncomfortable. And on top of the fact, most laptop screens, when they're in direct sunlight, you can't see the screen.
pretty much all of social media is fake. Not just like this digital nomad stuff, but like all of it. Most of the content that's put out is put out by people that want to kind of floss on you and kind of flex this fake lifestyle for the sake of likes and for the sake of attention. Because the reality is, I have never seen anybody actually working on a laptop on the beach. They go there, they take a photo, they work for like 5 minutes maybe, and then they put it away and they go swimming. So for a lot of people, I think that the idea of being a digital nomad, they're attracted to it the same way they're attracted to a lot of things on the internet. It seems like a get-rich-quick type of lifestyle. Throughout the history of the internet, there's always kind of been certain industries that have been a little bit like scammy. Not saying that the industry itself is a scam, but it attracts a lot of people that are kind of full of shit. For a long time, it was digital marketing, coaching.
And I want to talk about that because you have to understand something. Yes, I want to put half the blame on the scammers themselves, but now that I'm on the business side of things, I realize why these scammers do the things that they do. And it's simply because the customers are willing to spend money on it. I think it's the craziest thing. See, let me break this down in an easy way for people to understand. Everybody who's ever studied, trying to get a better body, trying to lose weight, trying to gain muscle, we understand that it's pretty much three basic principles. Watch what you eat, exercise, and make sure that you're sleeping, right? At its core fundamental principles, that's pretty much it. You want to make sure that you're eating either under your maintenance calories or over your maintenance calories, depending on your body composition goals. You want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, and you want to make sure you're doing some type of cardio or weight resistance training, period. However, that's why and you guys have seen this, there's always some new fad diet that promises people results. Oh, you got to do keto. Oh, you got to do high carb. Or you got to do this. Or you got to do this. Or you got to drink this. Or it's a whole bunch of nonsense. And again, why does it work? Because people are willing to spend millions and billions of dollars to be lied to. And scammers are simply people who are like, yeah, I'll lie to people for money. I do not have that gene. I don't know what it is. I don't have that gene, right? But again, we see these people make money. And again, a lot of people are like, oh, it's fake. No, trust me. There are people out there that are making bank being scumbags, right? But you have to understand 50% of it is the scammer, of course, but the 50% is the people who are investing money into some get rich quick scheme. You're trying to take a shortcut, and you have to realize, I don't know what age people will start to realize that there is no shortcut, period. You have to take the long road.
Like holistic coaching, lifestyle coaching is a big thing. Anything around mindfulness, anything about crypto, anything about stock trading, day trading.
And I saw that stray that he had against digital marketing. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt and help. He said that there's just some parts of digital marketing that's a scam, right? Because you can't say digital marketing is a scam when I scroll down to your bio here and you're taking part in digital marketing. This is an affiliate link, a digital marketing. He's trying to push people to an app, also digital marketing, all right? So anybody who's ever making money on the internet, they're using digital marketing, all right?
Trading, forex trading, even like workout programs. They kind of attract a lot of like borderline scammers. And unfortunately, I think the digital nomad lifestyle is starting to become one of those categories. Now, I'm not saying that anything that I listed is a scam. Obviously, I don't think going to the gym is a scam. I follow Tony Robbins, I read his books. I think that mindfulness and self-empowerment is really important, but it's the industry that attracts a lot of scammers. And again, digital nomading has just kind of reached that point where a lot of people are kind of trying to sell you the lifestyle, a fake lifestyle, a false representation of the lifestyle to get you to eventually buy something, right? The biggest red flag is when people try to get you to buy their course or anything that makes you give money to that person, red flag should be going up. Now, I'm definitely not trying to discourage you from trying to become a digital nomad. I just think that if you're going into it for the wrong reasons, which most people are, you will be wildly disappointed and you'll regret the decision. But if you're going into it for the right reasons, then it's great. Because
I can't even lie. That looks good. It looks like a root beer float. I know it's not, but a root beer float. You guys ever had a good root beer float? I'm talking where the ice cream and the soda is just the perfect ratio. My gosh, I want one now.
I actually think about this lifestyle. Well, for me, I think it's the greatest experience of my life. I'm incredibly...
And I'm going to join there with you, buddy. This has been the greatest experience of my life. As far as over time, you know what I mean? There's something like where you have a type of happiness. Maybe you went to Disney World, Six Flags, or you did something really awesome to where your dopamine or serotonin starts to peak. And you're like, wow, this is great. This is ecstasy. And then you go back to normal life. This type of lifestyle has just been a consistent uptick as far as my quality of life, my mental health, and my level of happiness.
Really grateful.
And I want to mention this. It doesn't stay constantly going up, but it stabilizes a lot higher versus when I'm back home.
I enjoy every single day of it, and I hope it never ends.
I was on my way back home, but I stopped by the river. Is this a park? I don't know what to call this, but look at this. It looks like they're developing this strip to be something. Like, I see these kind of like booths that generally turn into like small shops, right? They'll have like juice shops and pizza shops and whatever, but I don't think anyone's moved into any of them yet. There's kind of these food stalls over here. This one looks like it's selling burgers and hamburgers. And is that a McDonald's logo? I think they just stole that picture, but apparently they're also selling McDonald's fries. but it doesn't seem like it's actually operational yet. That one's called Pickpock Food. Also, this one looks like it's operational yet. So I don't know if this place maybe comes alive at night or something, but it kind of looks like it's gonna be something, and it isn't something yet. But these are cool chairs. Look at these. These are chairs. You actually like sit on them. It's like a one-person chair. Well, this is a good place to chat. So let's chat. So when I say being a digital nomad for the right reason, I don't mean that there are good reasons and bad reasons, okay? I'm not like condemning certain reasons and glorifying other reasons. I'm just letting you know realistically which reasons I think will lead you to disappointment and which ones will make you have a good time. And to me, the only like wrong reason is this idea that you're gonna have some sort of like baller lifestyle if you're a digital nomad. You're gonna go to parties all the time, you're gonna go clubbing, you're gonna go live in a tropical paradise, and you...
And again, that's huge. If you're living a baller lifestyle, you are going to burn through cash fast, right? Especially if you're the type to go out and spend a lot of money. You can live a lifestyle where you're going out and you're being social and active as long as you're not spending that much money. But most guys don't do that. Most guys go to these places and they show out. Give me a section, get me all these bottles. If I have girls around me, I'll pay them around. Like, trust me, a lot of guys are willing to blow money like that, and that's the quickest way to get you sent back home packing.
You get to live it up and never have to work. A lot of people in the comments ask me how do they find a remote job because they think a remote job is an easy job. It's still a job. It's still a 9-to-5 job for most people. It's still a 40 hours a week job for most people. And most digital nomads, they spend most of their time working or at home just like anybody else. Most of my day is still behind a computer working. A remote job isn't like a hack. Some people think that it's a hack in the sense that you can get all the benefits of a job without having to work. It doesn't work like that. How do you find a remote job? The exact same way that you find any other job. What skills do you need to have a remote job? The same skills you need to have any other job. It's just a job. Now,
exactly. You need skills. So if you're the type of person that you're like, oh, I want to make money on the internet, what skill do I need to know? You need to know digital marketing. Digital marketing is a skill set. It's a skill set. When you take digital marketing courses or classes, they should be teaching you a skill set, and you're going to use that skill set to then make money online or become a freelancer, which again is still making money online, or go to a remote job, which again is still making money online. Digital marketing is the foundation. It's the fundamental skill set that you need to know before you start this journey.
of course, people are going to say there are certain jobs that are better for remote working. They're going to say things like freelancing, things like being an entrepreneur. But guess what? Even if you're not a digital nomad, these things make it easier to be a not digital nomad as well. Does that make sense? Even if you're not traveling and you're just staying in your hometown, being an entrepreneur or being a freelancer gives you freedom over your time. The things that give you freedom at home also give you freedom as a digital nomad. Okay, rant over, because the people that are looking to be a digital nomad for the wrong reasons, they're not listening to anything that I'm saying right now. There's nothing I can say to...
Exactly. We just talked about that earlier, about the scammers. Listen, scammers exist because there's always people who are not willing to do the work. There's always people who will spend money in beliefs that they're getting some sort of shortcut. Instead of just taking the long road and saying, you know what, let me hunker down and take this thing seriously, invest in materials that's going to help me. They don't want to take that route. They want to take this course, bro, and you're going to make $10,000 a month and live like a king, and every woman's going to worship you. That's what they spend money on. So 50% goes to the scammers, bro, and 50% are going to the people who are willing to spend money just because they don't want to do that work, bro.
Convince them, and they're still going to be going around looking for like a new life hack to not have to be able to work and get all the benefits. So let's go back to the positives. Let's go back to why I think being a digital nomad is amazing. So what are those two reasons I talked about? The first one is for people that genuinely like new experiences. They like meeting new people. They like experiencing new cultures, new foods, just new things in general. Obviously, I don't have to explain this one. If you're a digital nomad, you're traveling, you're going all over the place, you're experiencing new things, new people. I love it. And if this is an experience and this is a life that sounds appealing to you, then you'll love being a digital nomad as well. So the second reason is a little bit more practical. It's about the financial arbitrage that you can do. Now, I know not everybody watching this is making US dollars or from a Western country, but about 85% of you guys watching this are from the US, so I'm talking to you guys. If you're from the US, you're living in one of the most expensive countries in the world. And if you're making a normal salary in US dollars and you're spending it at a place like Vietnam, your money goes a lot further. Let's say you're making $50,000 a year in the US, you're probably in the top 1% of income when you come here to Vietnam. Now, this is great for people that are retired, they want their money to stretch a long way, but I specifically want to focus in on entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur or you're someone that's entrepreneurial or want to be an entrepreneur, I think that being a digital nomad and taking advantage of this financial arbitrage is really, really powerful. And the reason for this is that most people's biggest stress and biggest worry in life is money. And if you're entrepreneurial and you want to pursue something that does not have a guaranteed income and something that you don't know when you'll be able to get an income or a financial return from, being a digital nomad takes that stress off of your back. When you have high living expenses like rent in the US, car payments, you're always going to be thinking about how am I going to make it to next month. Most entrepreneurs never take that leap because they have to think about the living expenses and how they're going to survive for the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You don't know when your endeavor is going to start making money, if ever. Most companies fail, so it's too risky. But think about it like this. If you have 12,000 US dollars saved up in a bank account, you can live in Da Nang comfortably and not worry financially for a year. Think about that. For an entire year, you can focus solely on your entrepreneurship and what you're working on and not worry about how you're going to make it to next month. That's a huge relief off your back, a huge load of stress off your back, and I think that it really increases your chances for success. So if you're a person that fits one of these profiles, and hopefully both of these profiles, then this digital nomad lifestyle, I think, is something that might actually suit you well. But if you're someone where both of these things that I mentioned does not resonate with you at all, then I think you can still try it, but I think you're gonna be wildly disappointed at what you find. Now, I've only been in Da Nang for about 3 months now, so I'm new to this lifestyle as well. As time goes by, my opinions are gonna change, my perceptions are gonna change. If you guys have different opinions, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a debate with you guys. If you're a digital nomad watching this, then let me know what your experiences are like. Yeah, I don't know. I think I had to think about this some more, and I do wanna make a full video one day about this whole experience. The more I think about it, the more I realize things that other people told me that I think are kind of BS. Like off the top of my head, networking. I've heard people say you don't even need a plan, just get on a plane, come here, go around, network, and you'll figure it out.
If you're a really social person, you can make networking work. Networking works. Let's be honest. Whether you're in your own city or you're outside of your city, being able to network is going to get you in places that the average person will never get into, simply because you know how to network. But when I talk to most people, most guys are introverts, most girls are introverts. They're not the networking type. But trust me when I say, if you are that type, you can definitely figure it out if you're the networking type.
I think that's the biggest piece of BS ever. All right, good talk. As much as I love this weather, it looks like it's gonna rain. So just in case, I'm gonna head home before that happens. See you there. Hi, Nala. How you doing? Did you miss me? You miss me? You want a treat? Let's go get a treat. Someone in the comments was asking me why I do baby voice with Nala. Cause she's my baby, you know. Oh, by the way, this is one of the shirts I got from the Han Market here. You can kind of tell, I washed it twice. You can kind of tell where it's losing a little bit of elasticity, but overall, I think it's a 9 out of 10. It was $2.80. Let me find a mirror.
$2? Yeah, I might have to pay me a visit.
That's what it looks like.
That's a nice, decent workout.
Worth it? So let's talk about the digital.
That's a nice, decent workout shirt,
Digital nomad community. And I know this is a sensitive topic and this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I'm just being honest here. Work is a big part of my life. A lot of people will call me a workaholic. That's fine. But I'm an entrepreneur and I'm in tech. So anybody who is an entrepreneur or entrepreneurial, or anybody who's in tech, I generally have a lot to talk to them about. And in the whole world of entrepreneurship, there's kind of 3 categories of people. I know I'm doing a lot of these category things, but stick with me here. The first category are people that are kind of figuring it out. They haven't made a name for themselves. They haven't raised money. They haven't actually built anything yet, but they're figuring it out. They're working hard, they're curious, they want to network, they want to learn. And I like these people. I love hanging out with these people. I love chatting with these people. Then on the opposite side of the spectrum, there's people that are running a business, they have employees, they have businesses that are revenue generating, they're successful. And I like those people too. I love learning from them, I love talking to them, I love sharing war stories. I like these people. And then there's kind of this third category of entrepreneurship where, how do I say this diplomatically? They're full of shit. They're kind of people that call themselves entrepreneurs because it sounds sexy in this modern age, and they don't really build anything. They don't really have any hard skills like engineering or design or marketing or any of that kind of stuff. They don't really work in a given week. They don't really work, and they kind of just navigate the space trying to get a piece of someone else's thing or trying to piggyback off of somebody else's work, or they're just kind of putting up a front so that they can be in the scene. Now, I'm from LA, and LA is a fake capital, BS capital of the world. LA is the headquarters of fake it till you make it. And in LA, I would say the entrepreneurship community is 85% trying to make it, 10% they're doing it, and 5% of these bullshit artists. Unfortunately, in the digital nomad community, I think that bullshit category is 40%. Now, of course, there are digital nomads that are doing great, interesting, inspiring things, but 40% is a lot. And so the reason I bring this all up is it's been hard to make friends in that second category. I have plenty of friends that are digital nomads that are just good vibes, let's go surfing, let's go to the beach, let's go play pickleball or whatever, and that's cool, but I haven't been able to find that second group of people that I can kind of connect on an intellectual level with. And it's gotten to the point where I don't...
And I don't like saying this, but most people that I've met as far as outside of the country are people I would never hang out with. And it's not we have different interests or things like that. It's just their character. And it's it's just a reminder of why I left in the first place. And I think to myself, I don't like that this individual is here simply because you're not in America anymore. I don't want to see an American mindset in this place. And again, it's not even the positive aspects of the mindset, it's more the negative mindset. Negative aspects of the mindset. This is why when you talk to foreigners, they usually have sour taste in their mouth when it comes to Americans. And it's simply because we think America is the same everywhere, and it's not. It's completely different. And most people don't even want to learn the culture or the customs that these countries has. And it's ultimately just disrespectful. And that's really the type of people that I don't want to associate myself with.
Don't even want to like meet people professionally. Like I just want to like, I don't want to talk about work. I don't want to talk about what I do. I don't want to talk about it. This has kind of turned into a rant with no direction. I'm trying to find like a takeaway from this. If there's anything to take away from this, I would just say be cautious of people that glamorize the digital nomad lifestyle, and realize that when you see kind of like the sensationalization online about the digital nomad lifestyle, it's just another case of the grass is always greener on the other side. For the right person.
And I can understand where he's coming from. So I feel like he's rambling at this point, but I'm gonna definitely say that if you're seeing a guy overseas and he's living this extreme baller lifestyle, he's driving the Lamborghini or doing all this stuff or having all these hot models and everything like that in these mansions, understand, unless he is. And again, the richest people that I usually meet overseas, by richest I mean like relative, are like software developers, engineers, architects. These are the guys that are remote working that really have bread, because they're taking their 80, 90, 100K salary and then traveling with that. That's some good money. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in these other places. But whenever you see people like trying to glamorize a lifestyle, unless it's like everyday life, I wouldn't listen to it. Like, if you guys remember my interview with MK Mobile Gaming in the Philippines, which is on my live section, you can go check that out. He lived a normal life. And that's the same thing for me too. When I go to these different countries, I'm trying to live a normal life. I don't want to live the baller. Now listen, sometimes I'll splurge. You guys were there. I had the, what's it called? The 2-story duplex apartment. You guys were there for that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll do that. I had the rooftop boy. I mean, anyways, sometimes I'll splurge like that. But again, my long-term goal is not to be splurging like that, right? Unless I'm making crazy buku amounts of money. But again, that's not my goal. My goal is to live a higher quality of life. And the way I'm able to do that is because I understand digital marketing, which essentially is the fundamental skill set to how to make money on the internet. So listen, if you're the type of person, you're like, you know what? I've been thinking about this. I want to start to take a jump right in. Where can I go? You need the fundamental skill set. Down in the description below, you're going to see a link. That link is going to be the digital marketing course that I took that gave me the fundamental skill set, that gave me the right mindset to understand exactly what it is that I'm doing to make money on the internet. Also, once you buy that course full outright, you then have the ability to sell that course. And it's crazy because if you sell that course one time using the new fundamental skill set that you just learned, you have just made your money back. And again, just having that is, I don't even look at it as a course. I look at it as an investment. I've sold plenty enough to not only have I made my money back, but I've made more than my money back. And so that's something that I want to give to you guys. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and get that. If you're not interested in that, then you're simply not interested in that. So listen, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me this long. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.